before we do that, before we go any further, Dr. McIntyre, I mentioned to you during the break about the cost, and you know, I think that's a question that has to be answered for this board and for the general public. We can have all this other discussion and we can consider options and everything, but we need to know, or at least have some firm idea of what each of these options is going to cost.
Yes, sir, and I think that's something that we talked about when the board discussed this concept a few months ago, and something that Dr. Alvarez will walk you through in just a moment here. And I think part of this dialogue has really been that we've been talking about the concept of a balanced calendar and have not really put until tonight pencil to paper in terms of what a particular concept might look like. And again, I honestly haven't made any decision about what I might recommend to the Board of Education on this concept yet. I wanted to make sure that we have some conversation this evening about where the board stands. But we do have some cost figures here with regard to what the various, what a couple of different scenarios might look like that, and Dr. Alvarez can walk you through those.
Let me say this, and then we'll do that. But last Monday, a week ago, you and I sat together as the mayor made his presentation and recommendation to the commission. Now, we don't know at this point. We've got a meeting scheduled for Thursday evening with the commission, and I guess there's some chance that there might be some changes or adjustments or whatever. But at this point, he's left us over $6 million short for this particular year. And we sat there together. You heard the same words that I heard. He made it abundantly clear to me that he was not giving any more money over here other than the natural growth, that he was not going to raise taxes. There were other departments in county government but besides the schools. And I guess my question would be, there's going to be some cost involved. Where do you think that we'll get that money from?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the question. I don't, I think that, first of all, respectfully, the mayor certainly has an important role in the budget development process, but he makes a recommendation, a proposal to the county commission. It's the county commission that appropriates funds. And the county commission represents the people of our community. And so the question is, what do the people of our community want? Do they want to invest in additional learning opportunities for our kids? Do they want to invest in the current budget scenario in additional compensation for teachers? Do they want over the long term to invest in instructional technology for our students to be prepared for a bright future? So I think the question really is not what any one individual wants or proposes or recommends, but what does our community want to do in terms of investment in public education? And how do the people who represent them, this board and the county commission, figure out how to make that happen? And so, I think that's a broader conversation about the level of investment we need to make in our children and in our future. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully, that'll be a very productive and robust conversation on Thursday evening about that particular topic.
I understand what you're saying, and that is very much true. But if we're looking long term, and you didn't say this, but you sort of implied when you talk about investment, that means that there's going to have to be more money. And if there's a significant amount of money, then it's going to be up to the county commission to raise taxes to bring forth that money. Now, in my opinion, if you think that the existing county commission and the mayor, not this year, but not next year or the next, I don't believe that they would consider raising taxes for a balanced calendar. Now, that's just my opinion, but but unless there was a huge outcry from the public. And I just don't anticipate that happening. I might be totally wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit it if I am. But I think we, you know.
I would only say, Mr. Chairman, that you inferred it more than I implied it, so.
Okay. I kind of think we know both.
No, but I think it's a fair point. But I think the question really becomes, what does our community want? What level of investment does our community want to make? And presumably, the people who represent our community will then honor those choices and those preferences and those priorities and, frankly, those aspirations for our children.
I think you're right about that. I think the people who actually control the purse strings and who represent the community will, generally, they reflect what the popular opinion is. Okay, we'll proceed. Ms. Roundtree, did you have